Today we are back looking at more creepy stalkers caught on camera. Okay, so this first video is a three-parter. I'm gonna play all the parts and then we're gonna talk about it. Ugh, that's not what you want going on in your life. Out of anything that can happen in your life, I feel like one of the worst and creepiest things is to have somebody watch you through a window. Especially a man like that when you've got a child. And it looks like the man has a mugshot and a criminal record from 2003 and 2004. The police obviously know who he is. I mean, he's literally got a mugshot from 2003 because he was charged with like hurting 5 women. It's just crazy to me how someone can do something like that and then they're let out and then they just reoffend.
I wanted to make one final update to this entire situation, or what I hope is the final update. There has been a big change of events as I have been brought aware to some information that has been pretty shocking, to say the least. 2 detectives came to talk to me about 2 days ago. They had been looking for this man and checking social media to see if they could maybe determine his whereabouts, and that's when they came across my video. They identified that the man in my video is the same man that they are currently investigating.
Oh, brilliant.
I cannot tell you what they are investigating as it is not public record and
Probably
it's still
not
an ongoing
something good.
investigation. But you can put 2 and 2 together if you go watch my previous video, and if you're aware of this man's history and previous charges. A lot of people were arguing that those charges were 20 years ago and yada yada. Well, some people don't change. And
Obviously
if
not in
anything,
his case.
This should prove it. However, I am okay and my family is also okay, and we are doing well under the circumstances. I will say that it was utterly terrifying knowing that I was this man's potential next target, especially because I'm with my child all the time, so I know that his perfect opportunity would have been when I was with my child. If you have any information or any questions, then you can leave them in my comments. I do not plan to make a video about this in the future because I still want to live my life and I do not want what this man did to me and my family to determine, the rest of my page and who I am. Because I'm still my own person and I'm very passionate about being a parent, and that's what I want to keep spreading. This was an unfortunate event, but I will not let it change me or who I am.
I really hope that there wasn't people in the comment section saying that just because it was 20 years ago he should be given another chance and that he might have changed. Obviously not. I mean, if he done that 20 years ago and now he's looking through someone's window when they've got a young child, that's not normal. They obviously haven't changed. And so to the fact that there's multiple victims, one victim is enough. Even thinking about doing something like that is bad enough. There's 5 victims from between 2003 and 2004. Probably more that haven't came forward yet. So no, he should not be given another chance. Stay safe until the trial. How does he even know you? He doesn't know me. He just seen me around and started following me, figured out where I'm staying, has been watching me since. So yeah, by the looks of it, he is not changing at all. He's just not changed. He's still doing what he was charged with doing. And that is just so terrifying, isn't it? The fact that someone can obviously get sentenced to jail and then get out and reoffend. To be fair, some people don't reoffend, however others do. And that's the issue. You don't know which ones aren't going to reoffend and which ones will reoffend. Quite clearly, he's reoffending.
Good. And then, I will see you in like literally tomorrow night. Are you okay tomorrow night? Yeah. Okay, so go with them.
Oh no. Oh, that's creepy.
Okay. No. I want you to go inside, okay? I want you to go. Okay, goodbye. Thank you. I appreciate you, okay? No, I want you to go, okay? I want you to go.
Yeah, don't open that
And
door.
I really, it's honestly, it's not you. I just don't feel.
That stalker tried to get inside her house. Luckily, it's not even her house.
Oh. Oh Christ.
Okay, I'm sorry that I'm here. We're the guy. We don't want you to know her. Okay, hold on.
Okay, so that woman was obviously being followed by that man and she pretended to go to her house, but it turned out not to be her house. What happens if he tries to get into that house thinking that she's in there? Okay, so some people in the comments aren't too happy with her. I just don't agree with her taking him to someone else's house. If he is a crazy stalker, he now thinks that's her house. I mean, I'm with you, Tina, but you also do have to keep in mind, like, would she actually want him to go to her house? I feel like that's fight or flight mode, where like you either fight or you fly, and in her situation, she's had to fly, and he's ended up following her. I really hope she called the police and got a restraining order put against him. She was in danger, and now the people who who are living in that house might be in danger. For the people that are hating on her, this is probably one of the best ways you could go about it, I would. I mean, put it this way, if you're not in that situation, you don't know how you'd react. Some people would just run, some people would fight him, some people would probably do the exact same thing as her. I can't say what I do because I've never been in a real situation like that. It just is a difficult situation, isn't it? Because obviously she's been followed and she wanted him to leave her alone. However, she did take him to a random house. You don't know who could be living in that house, an older man, an older woman, a single mum with children. It's just mortifying to think she actually has to do that. Like, she literally can't walk home without being followed by a man like that. She shouldn't have to deal with that.
Guys, when I say stay safe on these streets,
Ooh.
stay safe.
I don't like
we were
that.
probably moments away from getting kidnapped, trafficked, killed, you name it. So it's my first night in Brussels and I decided to meet up with my friend for drinks, and then after drinks we decided to go out to a club. We took the metro there because it's super easy and convenient. We realised we'd missed our stop, so we got off the train to switch to the other platform, but we noticed this man that was walking conveniently behind us.
And he's got a
He switched
bag.
platform and got on the train going backwards with us, and that's when we knew he was definitely following us. When we get off the train, he gets off. We got on and off the train multiple times just to make sure, and he followed us each time. So we decided to come off at a train station to call for help, and of course he followed us. But at this point, I'm actually kind of scared. So my friend starts calling people to come pick us up, but no one's answering because it's the middle of the night. My friend is calling an Uber and we just want to get out of there as soon as possible. On top of that, he's carrying this big black bag and I'm just thinking, what on earth is in there?
Exactly.
That makes him so confident that he can take down 2 girls. But where it gets really scary is when our Uber finally came. So we started walking out the train station and of course he's following us. Outside the train station, there isn't that many people and there really isn't any room for us to make any mistakes at this point. But we get outside and the Uber's nowhere to be seen. So we're just standing in the middle of this little bus station.
There's something in that bag.
And he's literally standing right behind us. At this point, my friend is on the phone to the Uber driver because we can't locate him and the app is saying that he's here. We're literally walking up and down this road and the man is still following us. The Uber finally came to the right spot and oh my gosh, I have never been so excited and relieved to see and enter an Uber in my life. I really thought I was about to get taken.
One thing I hate about public transport is having to take it at night because you deal with situations like that. I've been out and about and had to get the last train home from Belfast, and trust me, there is some scary people out in Belfast at night. You know, there's drunk people, just people hanging around and people acting suspicious. I got bad vibes from that. That man was obviously planning something. I think he was planning to hurt them in some form. If he was maybe, you know, going the same route as them, that's understandable. However, he was following them. He followed them outside across the platform. Like, he was obviously following them with a bag. What is in that bag? You know, what was he planning? And the thing is as well, you know, obviously they've gotten away. Who isn't going to get away? Who is going to be the person who's going to have to deal with him? When you say Brussels, I was like, oh, okay, I've been there. It's a nightmare. It's not just Brussels. It's everywhere. It's everywhere at night. At night, the dangerous people come out. This has to be staged. There's no way. Most of us women all around the world have at least had one experience like this. Not just women, men as well, me included. If you've never had to experience something like that, you're lucky, and I hope you never have to. It just makes you feel so uncomfortable. And then the thing is as well, if you get away, like, it's always in the back of your mind, oh my god, it's gonna happen again. And that right there is why you should never ever be out on your own at night. You know, if you're going somewhere, go with a friend, go home with a friend, never be on your own, because people like him are out and about.
Do I want to with you? No.
Ooh.
If you're interested, there are hostess clubs and stuff around the corner.
Ooh. Ooh. Were you maybe in a certain area where that type of stuff goes on? Was he thinking you were a straight girl? Oh my god, same thing happened to me. Some guy kept asking me how much, made me so uncomfortable. I feel like they know that you're not one, but they want you to be one and see if they can get anything out of you. That is freaky, isn't it? Like, I do know that's like a big thing over there about women getting harassed in, you know, Asian country. Or not just Asian countries, all around the world. Lady catches her stalker in the act of vandalizing her car.
I'm recording you.
Oh.
Hey, I'm recording you. He just bashed my windshield. He just bashed my windshield.
Monica, don't approach him.
When I first watched that video, I thought it was real. However, a lot of people in the comment section are saying it might be fake. I'm blown away by how this lady expertly failed to record his license plate. It's like she tried to avoid it. A lot of people were saying it's fake and, you know, obviously something happened to the back of her car. However, it wasn't that man. And then if you do think about it, there was no glass on the ground. I mean, there's the last screenshot. Does it look like there's glass on the ground? I don't think so. But either way, by the looks of it, something's went through her back car window and I don't want to know what it is. What's your scariest stalking experience? Broke up with a person and a few days later, my roommate gave gave me a note that was on my windshield. The note said I would have cleaned your car if you didn't cut me off. The next day, the person I broke up with was at my door, repeatedly ringing my camera doorbell. The person then went to my apartment complex office and told the clerks that they hadn't seen me in weeks and asked if they could be let into my apartment to check on me. The clerks at the office called me and told me everything. They also said that the person waited outside of the apartment complex for a while. That sounds like an ex-partner who can't let you go. And that is something that's a bit freaky about relationships, and I feel like we need to talk about it. Whenever a breakup happens, obviously it's not fun to go through. However, some people are really scary after the breakup. They can't let you go. They can't deal with the fact that you've broken up with them. They still think that they're part of your life and that they can walk into your apartment as if they were still with you. People die that way. People die because they break up with their partners and the partners can't deal with the rejection, so they end up killing them. I was a shift leader at a Taco Bell. I was always in the floor of my crew, so I was at the front registers or the drive-through register quite often. I was 24, married with 2 small children, and I only lived a few streets away from my store. I would often walk to work to save gas. A guy a little older than me started coming in a lot. He was always very friendly, almost too friendly. That's what I've heard with a lot of stalking stories. You know, the person seems really nice, but too nice, and then that niceness turns into like a scary nice where they become obsessed with you. He'd only come in my shifts. I started to find out, and then it turned out he was there for every single one of my shifts. I told my husband, so I don't think he ever came to our house, but he was a shadow at work. Then one day I came in and found him being trained by one of the assistant managers. He tried to get put in my shifts, but I freaked out and immediately went to the office to talk to the store manager. She had no idea about how he'd been in the store all this time. She knew there was a guy, but she didn't know it was him. She was horrified. She promised that she'd keep him away from me until she could get him transferred to another store. She called the store closest while I was standing there and got the transfer. He'd be out of our store for that day only. His next day would be at the other store, and it would be his home store. When I came to work the next day, she said he'd not taken the news well, that he'd had to work at the other store and quit. He came a few more times after that, so I got my husband to sit in the dining room to scare him off. I did not see him again after that. That's terrifying, isn't it? The fact that you were nice to him, but then he just got attached to you. He then started turning up to your work, applied for a job, tried to get in your shift. About halfway through that, I could see an ending, and the ending wasn't good. And then it's the fact that after he got transferred, he quit within the space of a day. Yeah, that man is not right in the head. I was stalked by a work colleague. I told my boss and other people at work, and no one gave a crap, and the stalking got worse. He would stand at traffic lights watching how I get home every day. One day at a set of red lights, he was acting more shifty than usual, so I watched him from the corner of my eye. I saw a long screwdriver slip from his sleeve and he rushed at me. I jumped the lights and speeded home. I turned up to work later in the day during the late shift and handed in my key/notice and never went back again. What I'm getting from that is that your work nearly had you murdered. You know, your work knew that you were being stalked by this man, didn't care, and then he nearly ended up killing you. At that point, you need to sue them. Like, this is why I'm a massive fan of suing people. I do believe people need to be financially responsible, and in their case, you need to drain their account. You're telling me you told them you're being stalked by a work colleague and they didn't care, and then that work colleague ended up trying to kill you theoretically, and then you're the one who has to quit your job and move away? Yeah, I don't think so. Well, anyways, guys, that's really fun video there. That's some creepy stalkers. If we see me look at more creepy stalkers, let me know, definitely will. Press the bigger subscribe button. See you all tomorrow for another video.